This year I was lucky enough to spend some time with, if not one of, the best golf coach in the world, Peter Cowen. And since then, I haven't got any better. Why is that? In this video, I'm going to explain why I haven't got any better, why I've probably actually got a little bit worse. No excuses, I'm going to bear all. Hi everyone, my name's James and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, make sure you do consider hitting that subscribe button below. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video because a lot of people have been saying, James, the lesson was amazing. Nearly 1 million people have watched my lesson with Peter Cowen, and then they've watched the channel and gone, he's not really got any better. So I'm going to start off by explaining what exactly we have been trying to do, or what exactly Pete was wanting me to do, because there's a lot of questions surfacing around that as well about how I could potentially get better. And then I'm going to tell you exactly why I haven't got any better. You may already know, but if you don't, stay tuned and find out. So one of the big things that we did work on at the start of the lesson was opposition in the pressure of the hands.
You have no face control if it's in.
Even down to ball striking as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got no opposition in your grip at all. So your grip doesn't work how you want it to work. And therefore it doesn't put it in a position that allows it to work properly. So in simple terms, you're not using natural forces very well.
Okay.
Every club in your bag wants to fall to vertical. Right, every club in your bag, that's what it naturally wants to do.
Yeah.
So when I'm stood here with a club like that, the only thing that's stopping it doing that is my hands on the ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when the club moves, if I move it, the hands are stopping it doing that, that's all. But it wants to do that.
Yeah.
And not only does it want to do that, when it gets to 9 o'clock and slightly beyond, not only does it want to fall to the ground, it wants to fall behind. Yeah. So when it falls behind, what most people do is react to the feel of the force. So if it falls that way, you're gonna react, right? You're gonna react, and then from there, the only thing you can hit it with is your hands, which is by definition inconsistent.
Yeah.
So what the great players do, particularly when they get it in hit, and particularly with pitching, is Seve always said, when your club gets there, move it into a position where a natural force can help you. If you're here, the natural force isn't gonna help you at all.
No. Now this is something which a lot of golfers are not really sure on what that means. A lot of people in the comments said, what on earth does he mean about hand opposition? So basically when I play golf, my takeaway comes inside here. So I kind of flip the club on the inside a little bit, and that's because my left hand is quite dominant and turns the shaft over. So what Pete was trying to get me to do was actually feel like I'm twisting my forearms into that grip, and that should allow me to then set the club on a much better plane up there. That wouldn't come around my arse, as Pete said.
So if I was talking about the golf swing lead arm only, in my case a right-handed player left arm, I would actually be trying to get this club in a position where I can use that natural force.
Yeah.
Whereas if here I can feel the weight of the clubs pulling my forearm, my wrist out of position, it's pulling my shoulders out of position, so I'd have to manipulate. So I don't align the muscle structure in my lead arm very well when I'm playing poorly. When I'm playing well, it feels effortless because it basically is. So if I've got an equal pressure there and equal pressure there, like on the putter should say stable.
Yeah.
If the pressure is different, then I'm going to get inconsistency. So that's okay in a two-dimensional movement with a putter, equal pressure. So how do I keep that pressure equal in my hands in a three-dimensional movement? Equal and opposite. This is how you get, if I wanted to squeeze water out that, equal and opposite. Yeah. So that's creating power, and it also creates the forearm pressure and the shoulder pressure. If you do that, feel what happens with the forearms and your shoulders when you do that. Locks them in.
Yeah.
Locks them in. So it's locked the grip in as well. So whatever's in your hand is going to be stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we can talk about a stable club face by just getting the normal grip and twisting my fingers towards you. What happens to the club face now? Yeah, try it. So twist the fingers in opposition. That's it. What happens to the club face? Push it towards me. Nothing. Yeah. Right. So now in the golf swing, you need your fingers to oppose all the way through, right? And then in the way down, you need the fingers to oppose. So I've got a stable face. So now to square that club face, all I've got to do is let the wrist naturally release down and move with it. No, you're rotating the face. I can feel it.
Right.
I can feel it straight away. So you're not allowing the natural force to work. No, you're rotating the face.
Yeah.
So watch mine. Mine would go in simple ways. Mine would go equal and opposite in the grip to here. Right, now I square the toe up to the heel in a downforce, yeah?
Yeah.
Then I can align the shaft and the club face together. So I square it up in a downforce.
And I'd set it a lot better than I could set the shoulders for a draw or a fade, depending what I was trying to do or what shot I'm trying to play. I'm going to go into that a little bit later in this video as well, because lots of the comments said, how do you set your shoulders for a draw? How do you set your shoulders for a fade? Try saying set your shoulders a lot of times because it's quite difficult. But generally, what I was trying to do was get the club set better and then set my shoulders better. You can see how my voice pitch has changed there. And it's not something that I didn't understand. I understood it at the time, I understand it now. And one of the drills was just one-handed, set the club up, Golf Pride pointing at me, and set the shoulders. And I actually noticed that when I've been playing golf recently, and I feel like I do have that opposition in the hands, I strike it better. I generally hit the shot that I want to play. It's generally a pressured strike, and it generally goes towards the target. So why don't you do that more often? It's a question which I'm asking myself now, and a question which I'm sure you guys are in the comments asking, but it certainly feels like when I do that properly, it feels like it looks totally different. It probably doesn't look totally different because having given a lot of golf lessons myself, not exactly to the standard of player that Pete has done in the past, I know that somebody's reel doesn't feel exactly how it should or look how it should. So get that set out there. And it's not a case of just picking the club up, it's a case of setting the club with the body, loading the shoulders, and then getting through. That was probably one of the best pressured shots I've hit since that lesson, and that's because I'm actually actively thinking about that, trying to set the club properly, trying to load the shoulders properly, then trying to unload the club properly, unload the shaft, and not put your back out like Pete mentioned in my video as well, because I've had a spinal operation in the past as well, which wasn't that nice. So the arms feel like they're coming across the body.
Yeah, they do, always, because it's an arc. You've got to go left on the arc on the way through. So squeeze, that's up, and then down, correct. But then what you've done there is you've stayed still instead of going, right, I'll move it. I'll move the club to help me to actually create the momentum, innit? Yeah. So once you've got it in a back delivery position, let it go down and go with it. Let it go down and go with it. That's it. So move it down, go with it.
Still
not bad, not bad, not bad, but pulled with the body. So you didn't let anything go down. So that's why the bottom of the arc wasn't perfect. Right. So now, if I load the shoulder relative to the shot I'm trying to play, then I can allow the shoulder to allow the club to be delivered correctly relative to the shot I'm playing. Yeah. So if I want to hit a fade shot, I'd be going, right, I need my shoulders up there, and I need the club to feel. So from here, equal and opposite, load them up. I've hit a little, you see it's a little drifting fade, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. There, and it just kicks like so. I've loaded relative to the shot I intend to play, and I've delivered the shot. So now, here, equal and opposite, I'm loading the shoulders for a draw. So as I go back, I'm loading the shoulders for a draw, and I'm hitting a little soft draw. Yeah? Yeah. And it even just tries to kick left. Yeah. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I've loaded relative to the shot. So your golf swing is flat shoulders, trying to find a position with the arms. Yeah. Right, this and the hands have tried to get a plane, and now from there I'm moving my body out of position to then, it's only because you're brilliantly hand-eye coordinated that you can actually play the game. Yeah. Because if I said to you, if I put a blindfold on you and said to you to that, you'd miss the ball every time. Yeah. But what we should be able to do is put a blindfold on me and move the club, knowing where the ball is when I've set up, and then close the blindfold. I should be able to hit a fade or a draw. So this lead shoulder now, if I said to you, right, how's this lead shoulder work to actually hit a fade, load it for a fade, just reverse the club like that so there's no weight on it. One hand? No, that's it there. So how are you going to load that shoulder for a fade? Get set up properly. That's it, now take the right hand off. Right, now load that shoulder for a fade, load the shoulder. That's it. You'd be a bit more there, wouldn't you? Yeah. Yeah. You feel that? Yeah. Now how am I going to fade now? Let it go, let the shoulder go. Right, that's it. Now go to the top again. Now let the shoulder go. Let it fall. This muscle. Watch. Grab mine. Grab my shoulder. Oh, right, yeah. Let the shoulder, not the bone. Yep. Where's it going to go? That's it. Now, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Let it go and then move out of the way. Because that works straight down to the ball as well. Just and then swing back. Now, Leave the club alone
Yeah.
and use the shoulder to move it around, down and around. Move your shoulder.
So what else did Pete say in the lesson, and what else have I not really ingrained into my game yet? One of the drills that we had, and it was actually something which I said to myself, you know what, James, I'm going to do this 5-10 minutes a day. I'm going to really work on my game. It was a one-handed drill, turn the club round so there's no real weight on there. Just set the club up, so making sure that, again, I set that shaft properly, then load the shoulders up, so feel as though I'm loading that shaft either for a fade or for a draw, depending what shot I'm trying to play. And that is something that will help my game, should help my game, and if I dedicate the time to it, spoiler alert, will help my game. So set it there, and I think, right, I'm going to try and play a draw, so set the club for a draw, and then actually get the club working down and release the club properly, not just get to the top of the backswing and let everything go from the body, because that is where not only injuries happen, but terrible strikes happen, because you are not in control of the club for what you are trying to do. So even just hitting little shots like this, just trying to get the club working properly, that was a bit of a drag, didn't release the club properly, and you can tell by the strike straight away there that that just wasn't right. And that's one of the frustrating things for me. There we go, that was better. So release that better, got the loft to it, and even with an 8-iron and a left-handed golf swing, you can start to get a strike on that, start to get the ball moving, and start to get the ball pressured with the strike.
Now, load your shoulder for a draw. Sits down, now the shoulder goes draw, draw, draw. Can you feel it coming from the inside? Draw.
So that would be...
So load it for draw, deliver it. That's it, deliver it. It's a different finish. Use your fingers. Now load both shoulders for a fade. On the backswing. Go on, up. That's it. And then down and left. Correct. Got it?
Yeah.
Right, hit me with a shot. Load them for fade, deliver a fade. Up. Is it faded?
Yeah.
Of course it has. See, when I ask all the pros, even the teaching pros and everything, how do you stabilise the club face and how do you load for a fade and a draw? They've no idea.
No.
Because they don't, it's not taught.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches. They don't teach it at the PGA. This is what you have to find out through 55 years of coaching.
Yeah.
What actually improves your golf as a coach? Well, muscle physiology. So if I said, right, now go on, load it up to a big high fade, right? So you keep the hands stable, working against each other all the way through, against each other, and then big high fade, load it. So you let your shoulders go low on the backswing there. So that's why you struggle like hell to get it down.
Get the ball back.
Get them up there as hard as you can and let it move down and left. Correct. Oh, better. That's a better fade, isn't it? Correct. So you've actually delivered the blow correctly relative to the shot. So that's what I'm saying. When good players play well, they get it into the delivery position much earlier to play the shot that they want to play.
Yeah. James, what on earth does he mean by loading the shoulders up for a draw or a fade? Because that makes no sense to me. Well, generally what I take from this, and I didn't ask Pete this, but this is how I took it and how I interpreted it. So if you would interpret this different, get in the comments below and let me know. But I feel like if I'm going to load the shoulders for a draw, first of all, I have to get that hand-off position working properly, set the club as I want to. But then from there, I feel like I just load the shoulders a little bit higher. And this is something which we really tried to do. The key there was load the shoulders higher. Don't pick the club up, load the shoulders and the body. So again, opposition there, and then for a draw, I feel like I'm almost getting a little bit across the line. That probably doesn't look across the line. Chris, does it look across the line? No. But I feel like I'm doing that so I can then drop the club a little bit more on the inside. Still release the club properly, but I should be able to do that. And again, that was a really nice strike. Ball moving right to left. The key there is starting right and moving towards the target on the left. If I'm going to do that for a fade, I'm going to do ever so slightly opposite. I'm still going to have the same takeaway here, still going to get that handle working properly, but then I feel like I just lay it off a little bit. I'm still loading higher. I'm still in a better position at the top than I would be if I was just playing a normal golf swing, because my top of the backswing is terrible. I'm sure you all probably see it. Sometimes it works if I'm timing it properly, but the key here is we're not trying to rely on timing. We're trying to actually become more autonomous in the downswing. So if I want to hit that fade, again, I'm going to get that working properly, set it, just feel like I lay it off a slight bit. And again, that's starting left and fading back. It all seems to add up, it all ties up. It was always going to tie up because Pete is one of the best golf coaches of our generation. He's worked with some of the best golfers in the world and has done for a very, very long time. And to be honest, I was really, really honoured to have his time. The annoying thing is I feel like I've let him down, I feel like I've let myself down, I feel like I've let you guys down as well, because being put in that position to have that lesson and have it on video, the reason why it's got nearly 900,000 views is because I've watched it over and over and over again. Why haven't I got any better? Well, to be honest, it's probably the same as a lot of you guys at home, and it very much is a case of practice what you preach, because for me, I want you guys to get better, I want to get better, I want to enjoy golf, but I just haven't practiced. I haven't come in here and practiced, I haven't gone on the range and practiced. I did a little bit on the golf course, I even did a follow-up video, like thinking, right, this is going to be my new pre-shot routine, I'm going to get that handle opposition working properly, I'm going to make sure I load the shoulders properly, then I'm going to make sure that I feel like I set the club properly and release it properly. And then life kind of got in the way. It's been a very strange year, highs and lows and things like that. I'm not going to go into any of that because I'm not one for excuses. But certainly, I'm a big believer in setting New Year's resolutions, in setting goals. And certainly me re-watching that video, trying to work on how I can set the club and work the club better is something that I'm going to do. And I said probably in the title of this video, there's no excuses. Why haven't I got any better? And the reason for that is I haven't practiced, I haven't worked long enough on the game, and it's certainly something I'm going to try and do towards 2023. I don't just want to test golf clubs, I want to be able to come out and play good golf as well.
At least it does what you want it to do,
Yeah.
without manipulation.
Yeah. Pete, that was really good. Thank you for your time.
All right.
Really, really enjoyed that.
Thank
Thank you.
Good.
Cheers.